Champions of the past, we have world champions of the present. Marissa Shields in the building.
Jake Paul, it's clear to me you are desperate for a reality check. You know what? If I made my money impressing 4-year-olds on YouTube and managed to somehow become a multimillionaire from it, I'd probably live in a dream world too. But let me explain something to you about combat sports. There are a whole bunch of men out here who will never be as famous as you, will never make the money you've made, who would kick the living fuck out of you.
No, he's fighting a 57-year-old champ now. What's
58.
58. Don't want to take a year away from the mic.
He's fighting a guy that's almost 60 years old. And you know what I mean? I mean, that says it all. That says it all. There's nothing else that needs to be said. That's his shtick. That's his thing. He fights guys that are old, usually undersized guys, older, undersized guys. But he's fighting Tyson here. And him and Tyson are going to make a shitload of money.
Andrew Tate has revealed the unusual details of his fight contract with Jake Paul, the YouTuber turned boxer. The two have been trading insults online for months, and while many anticipated a confrontation, few expected it to escalate to this level of seriousness. Next up, we have Premier Brandon. What makes this fight particularly intriguing is that unlike the typical staged hype events we've seen before, this one carries genuine tension, significant money at stake, and some questionable clauses that might leave you wondering if it's a disaster waiting to unfold. According to
Fucking internet. If you want to fight, if you want to send a contract, send one to me. I will take a few weeks break from living my retired life and kick the living fuck out of a fucking goofy, fucking entitled dickhead like you. You know my name, Andrew Tate.
You might have a fight on your hand.
That will go crazy.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. No, seriously.
I'm about the action. Like I'm less talk now. Like
You just don't see it as a sustainable thing.
He fought Tommy Fury and lost. Where's that rematch?
And
what makes
Andrew Tate, the self-proclaimed top G and former kickboxer, has been feuding with Jake Paul for what feels like an eternity. Jake Paul, determined to prove he's more than just a fighter, fueled by money and hype, couldn't have picked a better opponent to showcase his boxing skills than Andrew Tate, a man who never misses a chance to claim he's unbeatable. The fight is set to take place in Romania, but let's be honest, the location doesn't matter. What matters is the animosity between these two, and that's guaranteed to make this a fight to remember.
All he fights are old guys and whatever, but listen, say what you want, he wins. And he makes money. So he's doing his thing.
Two brothers, one cage. Jake Logan, you Tristan. Who comes out alive?
You know what? I'm trying so hard to not start internet videos. I'm really trying not to.
You could say Jake and Logan, man.
Bro.
Don't worry about it.
No, I can't lie. I'm going through life. I'm trying to live peaceful now.
Now, let's talk about the real star of the show, the contract. Andrew Tate has gone all in on transparency by revealing the details of the fight contract, and let me tell you, it's a roller coaster. The stakes are outrageous, the penalties are hilariously cringeworthy, and the clauses feel like a bizarre blend of WWE theatrics and Shark Tank negotiations. This is where the real excitement begins. Lots of it. So Tate and Paul aren't doing this just for clout. No. They're cashing in with contracts so extravagant they'd make even the most seasoned negotiators do a double take.
Me versus Andrew Tate. Wow. But here we are. So we could talk about that. Side note announcement. And please go watch the episode.
Hold on a second. What you mean you versus Andrew Tate? Because
No, I'm not saying a fight. I'm saying like our back and forth. He talked shit about me and like says he wants to beat my ass or can beat my ass and all this stuff.
I think there's a better fight to make.
The winner of this fight is set to take home a cool $10 million. Sounds great, right? Well, if you think that's all there is to it, you'd be wrong. The contract comes with a little twist. If the fight goes to the judges' scorecards, instead of ending in a knockout, the winner gets only half the amount. A mere $5 million. That's right, just $5 million. So, do you think either of these fighters will let this one drag out? Absolutely not. They're both going to throw everything they've got to secure the full $10 million. Because $5 million just doesn't have the same ring to it. And don't think for a second that either of these guys will be holding back or pulling punches with that kind of cash on the line. Every jab, uppercut, and feint will count. If you're thinking of betting on this fight, just know that Paul and Tate will be fighting like their bank accounts depend on it, because they do. Now, let's talk about the part of the contract that's sure to give these two some sleepless nights: random drug testing. If you thought this battle was all about skill and strategy, think again. Both fighters are subject to random, no-notice drug tests. So if either one of them is planning to use anything questionable to gain an edge, they're in for a rude awakening.
If my brother doesn't fuck you up, I will. And it has to go down. But I don't think he gets in the ring with one of us. I think it's too big of a
The
risk.
penalties in this fight are no joke. If either fighter fails a drug test, they don't just lose the match, they face a massive financial penalty as well. For Andrew Tate, who has spent years building his image as a top-tier competitor, or Jake Paul, who's determined to protect his undefeated streak, a failed drug test would be catastrophic. The damage to their reputations could make or break their careers. They both know they have to stay clean because the consequences go far beyond losing the fight. Is it really a surprise that Tate would insist on including this clause in the contract? The man is a strategist, and ensuring there's no room for cheating fits perfectly with his long game mindset. As for Jake Paul, let's just say his track record for playing by the rules isn't exactly spotless. So this clause is a game changer for both fighters. But wait, there's more. There's no rematch clause. If Jake Paul knocks out Andrew Tate, or if Tate submits Jake, it's game over. No second chances. No let's do it again next year. It's a one-and-done deal, with the winner taking all the glory. This contract is packed with so much drama, penalties, and chaos that even the most intense soap operas would be jealous.
Hardest sport in the world. And people dedicate their lives to this, and most of them never get a payday. It never pays off for the majority of fighters, all of which would fuck you up. I'm one of the lucky ones. I made a little bit of money. I don't have 50 million to bet with you, but I do have 3 million to bet with you. So this is your offer. $3 million.
This setup adds a whole new level of intrigue. Think about it. No rematch means the loser has no safety net. They can't claim they were having an off day or blame it on bad luck. There's no opportunity for redemption, no second chance to prove they're better than what they showed in the ring, and that, my friend, is some serious pressure. Imagine being Jake Paul, constantly battling the "he's just a YouTuber" label, no do-overs. On the other hand, picture Andrew Tate, the self-proclaimed top G, getting knocked out by a YouTuber turned boxer. The internet would have an absolute field day.
You are desperate for a reality check. You know what? If I made my money impressing 4-year-olds on YouTube and managed to somehow become a multimillionaire from it, I'd probably live in a dream world too. But let me explain something to you about combat sports. There are a whole bunch of men out here who will never be as famous as you, will never make the money you've made, who would kick the living fuck out of you. This is the hardest sport in the world, and people dedicate their lives to this, and most of them never get a payday. It never pays off for the majority of fighters, all of which would fuck you up.
Let's dive into another juicy detail of the contract, the weight clause. Both fighters are required to make weight for the fight, and if either of them fails, they'll forfeit 30% of their paycheck. This isn't the typical pre-fight drama you see at most boxing events. This is serious money on the line. Missing weight means losing a huge chunk of their earnings, and for these two, who built their brands around image and success, such a public failure could be devastating. This isn't just about appearances. Failing to make weight signals a lack of preparation, and in the world of boxing, that's a big deal. If you can't even get your body in the right shape for a fight, how can anyone trust that you're ready to step into the ring and win? For Tate, who takes pride in his discipline, and Jake, who's worked tirelessly to establish himself as a legitimate boxer, missing weight would be a serious blow to their credibility.
I think you're focused on boxing boxers, people that are in the space that you reside.
Jake, I know he's been talking shit about you, bro.
Yeah.
But with your blessing, can I beat the shit out of Andrew fucking Tate?
100%.
Oh, and let's not overlook the pay-per-view clause. This is where things get even wilder. Both fighters are set to receive 50% of the PPV sales. That's right, every dollar fans spend to watch this fight goes directly into their pockets. So what does this mean for the total payout? A massive payday. Both Jake and Tate have enormous followings, especially on social media, and fans are sure to flock to see the drama unfold. We could be looking at record-breaking PPV sales, especially with the hype and tension surrounding this matchup. This isn't just another fight. It's the most talked about clash of egos in recent memory. With that much money at stake, you can bet both fighters will bring their A-game. Not just in the ring, but in the marketing as well. They'll be promoting this fight non-stop across their platforms, making sure everyone knows just how high the stakes are. The tension will only grow, and the PPV sales will undoubtedly reflect it. If you're a betting person, consider just how much cash fans will shell out to watch these two collide.
So I just tend to keep those guards down, but you can't see at that point.
So what does all this mean? If you thought celebrity boxing was just a joke, think again. This fight is shaping up to be one of the most intense, drama-filled matchups of the year. The contract alone is enough to keep fans on the edge of their seats. With $10 million on the line, no rematch clause, random drug testing, and strict weight penalties. These two aren't just fighting for glory. They're fighting for their careers. At this point, it's far more than just a fight. It's a spectacle, an ego battle, and a money-making machine all rolled into one. Will Jake Paul keep his undefeated record intact? Will Andrew Tate prove he's truly unbeatable? Or will one of them make a catastrophic mistake that costs them everything? Whatever happens, one thing is certain. This fight is destined to be one for the history books. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get the debate going. Is this all just a massive hype job, or is it truly shaping up to be a showdown for the ages? Let me know where you stand, and don't forget to hit that like button if you're as excited for this chaotic clash as I am. That's Exercise Me Joat. This is Real Dynamic Workouts from Rob.
If you want to fight, you want to send a contract, send one to me. I will take a few weeks break from living my retired life and kick the living out of a goofy, entitled dickhead.